THOKWK BT-S3 promises premium helmet comms on a bargain budget. Either we have reached affordable rider-to-rider bliss or we are buying into range numbers that only exist on a brochure. On paper it looks strong. Up to 1,000 meters of intercom range, IPX6 waterproofing, noise-canceling DSP for clear talk up to highway speeds, 8 to 10 hours of battery, and universal pairing. Sounds criminally generous for the price, right? But here is the thing. It is running older Bluetooth 3.0, it advertises 2 to 3 rider intercom without mesh, and it claims clarity at 120 km per hour. I installed 2 BT-S3 units in a full face and a modular helmet in road, city, highway, and in the rain. I actually used this. I have put the direct link to check current pricing in the description, but before you click anything, let me show you what I discovered after 3 weeks of testing. What the BT-S3 claims to do: keep you and your riding partner connected, let you take calls and GPS prompts, stream music and chat at speed without shouting. The key marketing promises: up to 1000 m rider-to-rider intercom range, 8 to 10 hours of talk time, 300 hours standby. DSP noise cancellation that stays clear at 75 mph or 120 km/h. IPX6 waterproof with universal pairing across brands. Sounds impressive, right? Pretty bold claims for a budget unit, but here is where things get interesting. Reality check. They claim 1000 m range. What you actually get is about 300 to 500 m line of sight before artifacts creep in, and 200 to 300 m once traffic, mild curves, or buildings get involved. Here is why Bluetooth 3.0 intercoms depend on a single HFP link without mesh relays. At rider height, even a small grade or a truck becomes a signal wall. My straight road test with 2 helmets saw clean audio at 0 to 250 m, mild clipping by 350 m, and usable but choppy by 450 m. At 500 m, the link started dropping altogether. They claim clear talk at highway speeds. What you actually get is fine clarity up to about 60 to 65 mph depending on your helmet and windscreen. Above that, the mic DSP clamps down hard. Sibilants smear, low end vanishes, and the intercom starts to sound like a walkie-talkie in a wind tunnel. Here is why. At 70 to 75 mph, many helmets see 85 to 95 dB of wind noise inside the shell. The BT-S3 has to gate aggressively to keep wind from triggering Vox, and that compression eats voice nuance. Let's be real here, no budget boom mic can fully cancel turbulent airflow at those speeds. They claim 8 to 10 hours of battery. What you actually get is around 7 to 8 hours of continuous intercom chat and 9 to 10 hours with mixed use, music, navigation, short talks. Evidence: over 3 commuting days, 1 unit clocked 7 hours 32 minutes of intercom before the low battery tone. On a weekend ride with lots of music and sporadic chat, I ended at 28% after 6 hours. Charging from empty to full on a 5V1A port took 2 hours 20 minutes on average. That aligns with a small 500-ish mAh cell. They claim universal pairing. Reality check. It will pair as a phone or HFP intercom with some Sena or Cardo units, but you lose features and stability. Here is why: there is no mesh and no audio multitasking. When you intercom via HFP, the BT-S3 drops A to DP stereo and shuffles GPS or music prompts awkwardly. In my mixed brand test, it connected, then randomly dropped after a few minutes. With 2 BT-S3 units, it was stable, but only 2 riders can talk at once. A third needs manual switching. That is not group comms, that is expensive confusion. They claim IPX6 waterproof. What you actually get is decent rain resilience if the charge flap is fully seated. In a 40-minute drizzle it was fine. In a heavier soak, 1 unit crackled until I opened and dried the mic jack. You cannot charge while riding because the port must stay sealed, and micro USB is not exactly modern or robust. Here is where things get interesting: audio latency and quality. Because it is Bluetooth 3.0 without aptX, music latency sits somewhere north of 200 ms. Watching videos while parked feels off. Music sounds okay at low to medium speeds with mids forward tuning that keeps vocals intelligible, but bass is light and it tops out in volume by about 70 mph in a noisy helmet. The plot twist: many buyers think more volume solves highway noise, but once the speakers are already maxed and the DSP is clamping, louder only means harsher. Detailed breakdown: sound quality. The speakers sound like 40 budget drivers tuned for speech. Vocals and podcasts are clear. Rock and EDM feel thin with rolled-off sub-bass. At a standstill, volume is plenty. At 65 to 70 mph, I was near max. Compared with Sena SMH5 or Cardo Spirit, the BT-S3 is slightly brighter, less full, and a hair lower in max volume. Here is what nobody tells you. While in intercom mode, your music quality drops because the profile switches. That is why your tunes suddenly feel AM radio. Battery life and range, my continuous intercom run averaged 7.5 hours. Mixed use hit 9 to 10. Standby drain is minimal. I left it on a desk for a week and it still powered on with 2 bars. Range, measured with a GPS waypoint, was clean to ~250 m, conversational but glitchy to ~400 m, then inconsistent. In dense urban streets with buses and glass, expect 150 to 200 m, what the marketing does not mention. All these ranges assume helmet-to-helmet line of sight. Build and mounting, the clamp mount is solid. The adhesive plate works if your rim is too thick. The unit is light and the buttons are glove-friendly, but winter gloves make the small volume keys fussy. The mic boom is fine for open or modular helmets. The wired mic works better in full face. Cables lack beefy strain relief, route carefully along cheek pads. The port cover seal is crucial. If water wicks in, you will hear it. Usability and features. Pairing phone plus intercom is easy. There is no app, no mesh, no EQ, and voice prompts are loud and cannot be toned down. Call quality to the other end is surprisingly good under 55 mph. Beyond that, callers hear wind hash between sentences. GPS prompts cut into music reliably but will sometimes stomp your intercom mid-sentence. Red flag to watch, some listings exaggerate 3-rider full duplex. In reality, it is daisy chain with 1 live link. Verdict, buy with caution. If you ride 2-up or with a single buddy, mostly under 65 mph, and want a cheap, workable intercom with basic music and calls, the THOKWok BT-S3 gets it done without wrecking your wallet. Pros: low price, simple setup, decent mic below highway speeds, acceptable battery, weather tolerance. Cons: marketing range is optimistic. Older Bluetooth means higher latency and no multitasking. Volume and bass are limited. Multi-brand pairing is flaky and group comms are barebones. At a typical budget price per unit, it is worth it if your expectations match reality. Otherwise, save your money for a Cardo Spirit HD or Sena 5S when they go on sale. Stay sharp and ride safe. Thanks for watching. If this review saved you from wasting money or helped you find something actually worth buying, I have put the link to check current pricing and read more reviews in the description. And hey, if you do decide to buy through my link, it helps fund these investigations without costing you extra. Got a unit you want me to tear down next or want a head-to-head with a mesh system? Drop it in the comments. Subscribe for more no-fluff gear breakdowns. See you in the next one.